Are we recording? Are we recording? Yes, we are. Okay. Buenos días esta vez. Welcome to the 32nd lesson of 13 Weeks of Spanish. Today, it's all about all the ways we can like in Spanish. In other words, this weird verb, gustar. So it's a must-know verb. You must know this verb. So what does gustar mean? It means to like or to be pleasing to. End of lesson. Not. Why not? Don't like and to please mean the same thing? No, they don't. You're absolutely right. To like is not the same as to please. I like my dog and I please my dog. Those are two different things. But I said gustar means to like or to be pleasing to. And that is the same. Oh, okay, so to like, I like my dog. But if I use to be pleasing to, what would we have to say? If I say I like my dog, how would I reword that with to be pleasing to?
Gustaría?
We're not talking Spanish yet, in English.
Oh.
We have to get the mindset in order to be able to translate this correctly.
Oh, I see.
So I like my dog. I like where you're going. We're just not there yet. So hold on to that thought. Hold on to that thought.
Uh-huh.
So I like my dog, but how would I express that idea with the verb to be pleasing to?
Oh.
That's the thing. The O that you're saying is the key, Glenda. It's good that you're saying O. Because that's the switch we have to make from English to Spanish. Because as we established, pleasing is not the same as liking. To be pleasing is liking, but it's opposite. This is how we would say it. What would be the equivalent of I like my dog with the verb to be pleasing to? I like my dog with to be pleasing to, my dog is pleasing to me. So I like my dog. Who's the subject?
Dog.
Subject always controls the verb.
Oh, that would be me.
I.
Me, yeah.
I and me are never the same. Not in grammar. Not in grammar.
Oh, okay.
I always does. Me receives. So I is the subject, me is the object.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I like my dog. What's the subject?
I.
What's the object?
Like a dog.
Dog, right. But if I say my dog is pleasing to me, who's the subject?
Dog.
Yes, because dog is controlling the verb. And then the object is?
Me.
Yes, because now I'm receiving the verb.
Mm-hmm.
And yet they both mean the same thing.
No.
Yes.
Do they both mean the same thing?
In Spanish, they do. This is the switch we have to make.
Oh, okay.
If I like my dog, it's because my dog is pleasing to me.
Mhm.
If I don't like my dog, it's because my dog is not pleasing to me.
I can see that.
And so it's the pleasing, to be pleasing to. That's the relationship we have to think of to get GUSTAR right. So, repite por favor. I like my dog, but if I'm going to rephrase this, I need to be able to say it. My dog is pleasing to me. And that puts dog in the subject seat. And
Yes.
I turns into me, which is an object. So if I have this, if I have the sentence, my dog is pleasing to me, who is controlling the verb?
I.
Oh, no, I said if I have the sentence, my dog is pleasing to me,
Dog.
dog is controlling the sentence. So this is the challenge with the verb gustar. Instead of thinking to like, we need to think to be pleasing to. And that turns things around. My dog is pleasing to me.
Mm-hmm.
So if we say, I don't like Spanish, we have to think Spanish is not pleasing to me. If we say, my sister used to like to swim, we have to think swimming used to be pleasing to my sister. Do you see the crisscross?
Yes.
That's the key. That's the key. So how do we construct this concept with gustar? If we say, I like my dog, who's doing the liking?
I.
Who's doing the pleasing?
The dog.
My dog pleases me.
Mm-hmm.
So now I like my dog pleases to me. Do those sentences have the same subject?
No.
Correct. Absolutely correct. And in English, it's easy to see because usually the subject goes right before the verb.
Right.
Okay, so if the subjects are different, then the objects are also different.
Mm-hmm.
You with me so far?
Yes.
Okay, no questions?
No.
Okay, good. So in Espanol, if we say, my dog pleases me, or my dog is pleasing to me, who's doing the pleasing?
The dog.
Right, mi perro. Right? Who is the pleasing directed to?
Me. I.
Me. Not I.
Me.
I is never an object.
Yeah.
Me.
Okay.
Right.
Me.
And in Spanish, it's me. So we
Me.
know mi perro and we know me. So mi perro, how do we conjugate gustar? It's got to be, well, okay, who's the pleasing directed to is me.
Me.
So who is the pleasing directed to? Me. So who conjugates gustar? Is it mi perro or me?
Me.
Why?
Because the word pleasing has to do with me,
Well,
not the dog.
well, who's doing the pleasing though?
The dog.
So if the dog is doing the pleasing, who's controlling the verb?
The dog.
The dog, not me.
Okay.
So who conjugates the gustar?
The dog.
Mi perro, not me. So it's mi perro, me. Since mi perro is doing the pleasing, mi perro has to be conjugated. If we've got gustar, then what is the word? In other words, we have the verb gustar. We're in the present tense. We have the verb gustar. Who's the one controlling gustar? Is it mi perro or me? Either you have frozen literally or the screen has frozen because I don't see your head moving at all. Hello, Glenda? Glenda? Hello? Hello? Can you wave your hand if you see me? Glenda? Hello? Glenda? Okay, I'm gonna
Okay,
repeat
go ahead.
your question again, please.
So since the dog is doing the pleasing,
Yes,
but the dog is pleasing me,
that's the same thing. You've said exactly the same thing just now.
yes,
Okay,
pleasing me being pleased.
right. Keep asking.
So the conjugation would go to the dog since that's the action.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the point. So, mi perro gusta. We need to conjugate gustar as gusta
Mm-hmm.
because mi perro is not and not it's.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense so far?
Yes.
Okay. Which is why we don't say gusto. And this is
Because it's not me.
it's not I.
It's not I.
I. Correct. We say me gusta, which refers to me.
Me. Mm-hmm.
But we have to say gusta because it's the dog doing the pleasing, not I doing the liking.
Yes.
And that's the key to this verb. So mi perro is doing the pleasing. Mi perro has to be conjugated. Mi perro gusta, but to whom?
Me.
Me. Mi perro me gusta. Now, there's something in Spanish, unfortunately for us. Spanish likes to change the word order when we use the verb gustar.
Mm.
We don't say mi perro me gusta. We say me gusta mi perro. Now, we've been thinking, okay, we've always put the subject before the verb, subject before the verb, subject before the verb. Not with this verb.
Oh.
All right?
All right.
Now, why? I don't know. That's the way it is. Now, sometimes we're going to add another wrinkle to that. First of all, we don't put, excuse me, the subject first when we're talking about gustar. The subject goes at the end, goes after the verb, rather. And sometimes Spanish likes to add a little bit of clarification. Now, Glenda, this is where we really need to remember we are not thinking in English, we are thinking in Spanish. Because a lot of times you'll hear people say, a mí me gusta mi perro. To us, that's redundant because a mí is to me. Me is to me. So we're looking at this and we say, to me is
Me.
pleasing my dog. And we're thinking, oh, why do they have to put it twice? Because that's the way Spanish is.
Okay.
It's added clarification in their minds, especially if we're talking about a lot of different people and everybody's giving their opinion. And it would be similar to saying in English, well, in my opinion, I like my dog. And that's how you will see, this is how you will see it constructed in Spanish a lot. This is how you will hear it constructed in Spanish a lot. To us, a redundant a mí and me, but not to a Spanish listener. To a Spanish listener, it gives emphasis to what they're saying. No le gusta mi perro a mi mami. Now, we look at that and we think, wait. Who's doing what? Because we've got perro, which is, and we've got mami, which is. So who controls the verb here? In Spanish.
Pero.
Exactly. Perro. First of all, it's coming straight after the verb. First of all. Second of all, we're saying a mi mami, to my mom. And if we're saying to my mom, that means she's not doing the action, she's receiving the action. So my dog is not pleasing to my mom. However, in English, I would say, my mom doesn't like my dog. And if I say, my mom doesn't like my dog, think about that sentence. My mom doesn't like my dog. Who's controlling the like?
Mommy.
Mommy, not doggy. And this is the switch that we have to learn to make. I like pizza. In Spanish, I say pizza pleases me. So we have to learn to switch it around. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Mechanically. Mechanically.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go into some examples of gustar. A mí no me gusta que el coronavirus sigue causando mucha ansiedad. You know what coronavirus is? I think you can guess what causando means because it looks like the English.
Causing.
Correct. Ansiedad. It sounds similar to what it is in English. Wild guess? And it wouldn't be wild because your Spanish instincts keep getting stronger every day. Anxiety.
Okay.
Okay, I know you know what mucha means.
Yes.
Are you familiar with sigue yet?
Am I familiar with what? Oh, following.
Following, it also means keep on.
Keep on going.
Right. So, a mí no me gusta. What am I saying?
I don't like that the coronavirus is causing a lot of anxiety.
Correct. But now you translated it into natural English by saying, I don't like, but there is no I like literally in this sentence. You see that?
Absolutely.
Okay, very good, very good. So no, me gusta, I like. But the meaning in English is something pleases me. But we would, if you're translating this for somebody, you say, I don't like, but the grammatical meaning is something pleases or doesn't please me. Very good.
Can we use the word favor?
Excuse me?
Can we use the verb favor? A me no favor. I don't favor or I don't like the fact that the coronavirus. Can we use that?
There is no such, favor is not a verb in Spanish.
Oh,
It's a noun, it's favor.
yeah.
Favorecer.
Favorecer.
But that's straight on. No favorezco. But that kind of awkward in that's kind of awkward in Spanish.
Okay.
That's implying that there would be somebody who does favor that coronavirus thing. Only the medical companies favor that.
Okay.
Okay, but favorecer wouldn't work there. On the other hand, favorecer is correct. Gustar switches.
Okay.
All right. ¿Les gustaría a ustedes, chicas, estar en cuarentena 2 semanas? What does that mean? If you were interpreting that for somebody, what would you say?
We like,
Now, you used the word gustaría before.
yes.
Mhm. Excuse me.
Well, I guess less, I never really learned less. I never had a teacher, so I never got that far in my personal Spanish.
I taught you that one.
I haven't reviewed.
Okay, quick review. Me. Let's do it with the gestures. Me.
Me,
Te.
te,
Not te. Te. Straight in front. Straight in front of me. Because that's who I'm talking to. Te.
te,
Te. Le.
le,
La. Le again.
le,
Le again.
le,
Nos.
nos,
Os.
os,
And les. Les. Les.
everybody.
Okay, now me and te and nos mean not only me, but they also mean to me.
To me,
Te means
you.
and to you as object pronouns.
Mhm.
They're object pronouns. These are not subject pronouns that control the verb. These are object pronouns that receive the action of the verb. Nos means us and to us.
It means us and to us.
Yes, it all depends on what the verb is and what the rest of the sentence is talking about.
So to us pleases. Okay, it pleases us.
Yes. For not pleases, or pleasing to us.
Okay.
Something is pleasing to us, because here we've got les, and the confirmation phrase is a ustedes.
Yeah.
So now we're saying, if I say a ustedes, what am I saying?
You're repeating les gustaría.
I'm just repeating
It's
les,
emphasizing.
just les. Yes. And I'm clarifying, because les
Yes.
can be this or this or this.
Mm-hmm.
So with les, you will see more of clarification, just to narrow
Okay.
down who we're talking about. So a ustedes, what does a ustedes mean?
To
who?
them, to they, to us, to ellos, to ustedes.
What's usted? And that's why you need to do the gestures, so that your body remembers what the word is. Usted is what?
Singular.
Well, what does
To
it mean?
you.
You.
Mm-hmm.
Ustedes.
Is they, them?
Oh, if usted is you, ustedes is
Ustedes. It's
you're making it too hard on yourself.
okay.
If singular is you, then plural,
It's you.
But for us to distinguish it faster,
Mm-hmm.
it's better to say you folks, because this is y'all, because it's informal. This is you folks.
Okay.
That's formal. You folks. You folks.
Okay.
So a ustedes means
You folks.
to
You folks.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So les goes with a ustedes.
Yes. Okay. Got it.
Question. Is ustedes the subject of this question? This is a tricky question.
It's the same as gustaría. Les gustaría.
Nope.
It's just emphasis.
Nope.
No?
Nope. A ustedes emphasizes les.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. A ustedes emphasizes les. Notice they're both plural.
Mm-hmm.
Gustaría is not plural.
Okay.
And remember that gustaría, and this is again is the trick, and it doesn't matter, excuse me, it doesn't matter that it's that this is problematic to understand, because this is the point, Glenda, and I'm glad that we're going over it, like really just getting all of the little pieces together and putting it together. Les and a ustedes, they're both plural. And when we say les, we're talking about something that has no control over the verb.
Mm-hmm.
When we say a ustedes, no control over the verb, because those are objects.
Mm-hmm.
Chicas is also plural.
Mm-hmm.
No control over the verb. Now, you're not going to believe me, but this is the object, estar. And even more so, estar en cuarentena. That's the subject of this verb. Why? Because in English, we're saying, would you girls like to be in quarantine for 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Now in English, girls is controlling the verb. You follow me so far? Okay, but in Spanish, what do we have to do? Switch it up. The question in an English way of thinking really is, would being quarantined for 2 weeks be pleasing to you girls? So now being in quarantine is the subject, because being in quarantine is controlling the verb. And that's the way it's constructed. It's the estar. Even though it seems like, well, how can estar be a subject? It's not a person, place, or a thing. Actually, it is a thing. Right now, it's an action. It's like saying, swimming is pleasing to me. Who's doing the pleasing?
Swimming.
Swimming. Even though that's an action. But in that context, it becomes a noun, because it's the action as a noun, the act. And that would make it a noun. In that context, same thing here.
I have it. Okay.
Good, good, good. I know it's long and convoluted, and you're thinking, how am I supposed to remember this? You do remember it because you hear it, hear it, hear it, hear it. And then, oh, that's right. Oh, okay. Now I see why gustar is almost never conjugated according to the like. It's conjugated according to the be pleasing. And that's why we switch it. So, ¿les gustaría a ustedes, chicas, estar en cuarentena por 2 semanas? Now that's the question. In English, who am I asking this question to?
The chicas.
The chicas. In Spanish, who am I asking the question to?
Ustedes?
Yeah, even though ustedes technically isn't the subject. The effect of the question is directed to a ustedes. So what's the answer? Please read this answer.
No, a nosotros estar en cuarentena por 2 semanas no nos gustaría nada.
There you go. There you go. So now if I'm asking las chicas, now the chicas are responding. And they wouldn't say a ustedes, they say
Nosotros.
nosotros. Actually, they should say nosotras, because it's only chicas that I'm talking to. So I have to change that. I always have to change something. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, does this sentence make sense to you?
Well, the way it's set up, I can see it.
Okay.
But if I had to speak it, I would not have, it's just no way I would have came up with this.
Well, it's long, and you're not speaking long sentences yet, but you are reading long sentences. So, well, actually, the homework will get you to start speaking smaller sentences with gustar. And it sounds like to me you're already using gustar. If you just came out with gustaría right at the beginning, then I know you're using the verb gustar.
In my head.
Oh, you're not saying it yet?
Rarely.
Le gusta, te gusta?
Rarely.
Rarely? Okay. Let's change that rarely into sometimes, and then often, and then all the time.
Yes.
But don't be afraid to make the mistake.
Okay.
That's when you can improve. Okay,
Yeah,
so now
that-
we, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Yeah, that's where I was saying I favor, but someone was saying, no, you can't use you favor.
Not in
I
that
favor
context.
this. Huh?
Not in that context.
Yes. Okay. Well, that'll be another subject.
Okay, yeah. And I mean, my goodness, whenever we learn any language or anything, the first year is more correction than getting it right.
Yes. True. No problem.
That's the learning process. Okay, so here we have three different persons. We have a mí no me gusta, a ustedes no les gusta, a nosotros no nos gusta, no nos gustaría.
Mhm.
Notice that the gustar stays in the third person,
Mhm.
even though in English, I like, you like, we like. Now in English, the like stays the same, but gustar does not change. Now, I haven't included this in this slide, but there is one context in which gustar will be conjugated according to who's doing the liking, and that's when we're talking about relationships. But for instance, if I say, I like that boy, no, that boy likes me,
Mhm.
what I'm saying is I am pleasing to that boy. And
Mhm.
that's where you'd have a gusto.
Mhm.
So that, when you get involved with your teenagers in the congregation, you have to know how to conjugate it correctly.
Okay.
But that'll be in the bigger class. Okay, and now two more verbs that we need to know that do the same thing as gustar. Fascinar and encantar. Fascinate, to be fascinated by, to
Mhm.
be enchanted by.
Mhm.
Same thing. Me gusta el español, me encanta el español, and me fascina el español. Now notice español, español is at the end, but español is controlling the verb in Spanish.
Mhm.
However, in English, I like Spanish, I'm fascinated by Spanish, I'm enchanted by Spanish.
Mhm.
Or I like Spanish, I love Spanish, I absolutely love Spanish.
Mhm.
What's the diff? It's the intensity.
Mhm.
So me gusta español is the lowest intensity.
Mhm.
Now the tone can change. Oh, me gusta el español. But you can also say, oh, me gusta el español.
Mhm.
But you can't say, oh, me encanta el español. It always has to be with the tone, me encanta el español.
Okay.
So, me fascina el español. My scale from 1 to 3, 1 being the lowest intensity, 3 being the highest intensity, is what you see. Me gusta el español, me encanta el español, me fascina el español. And I did a little survey among my Hispanic friends, and 2 of them said this, but 1 of them said fascina is in the middle and encanta is at the top. And then she said fascina and encanta are the same for her. So it depends on who you're talking to.
Okay.
But gusta is the lowest. All right, so your homework, as you go through your day,
Mhm.
think about qué es lo que me gusta y qué es lo que no te gusta. Talking about Brother Sidnor.
Mhm.
For instance, you're cleaning something. And you
Mhm.
say, a mí sí me gusta this. A James, James, a ti no te gusta eso. And it doesn't have to be factual, just so that you're working with the affirmative and the negative. Okay?
Mhm.
Okay. And then ask yourself, ¿qué es lo que le gusta a mi familia? ¿Qué es lo que nos encanta como familia? And
Mhm.
¿qué es lo que les fascina a mis amigos? Questions?
No.
Okay. Next class, must know verb poder, zillones of idiomatic phrases. And that will be Friday at 8 p.m. EST, 7 p.m. your time.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Hasta la próxima. Gracias.
De nada.